Get ready to dive into a world where empires stand on the brink of war and terrible monsters tear at the fragile borderlands of men. The Adventurer-Conqueror King System Imperial Imprint, or as we like to call it, Acts 2, is now live on Kickstarter. Acts 2 is the new edition of the acclaimed best-selling fantasy role-playing game. You'll find everything you need to enjoy epic fantasy campaigns with a sweeping scope. Whether you want to crawl through dungeons, experiment with alchemy, crossbreed monsters, run a merchant emporium, raise an undead legion, or even conquer an empire, Acts 2 supports your playstyle. Acts 2 integrates experience point mechanics, making campaign activities a seamless part of the core gameplay loop. Your character levels up in new and exciting ways each time you play, adding massive replayability to each of your adventures. Acts 2 offers 18 character classes, 378 spells, new combat mechanics, and so much more. Support Acts 2 on Kickstarter today.
Knocked Prone is a clean, chaotic, and deep podcast for D&D nerds. Find more ways to support our show in the episode description.
You guys are currently in the battle with River and the rest of the zombified people that you have run into before. Efimia, you just broke down River's ice barrier, so there is currently no barrier around River. River has given a monologue about, ignore Efimia. We're going to kill her friends instead and make sure that they don't make it to the end battle with Vecna. An air of darkness and dread looms over the battlefield as you guys are fighting against River and all of these foes from your past, and you're not feeling too great about your odds. But as you are starting to feel this dread take over your heart, you hear a small voice of a satyr that you recognize to be Kelric, the host of the Talked Prone podcast, as he says to you over your speaking stones in his radio announcer voice.
"'Tis not his stature or strength, but the strength of his morals that makes Grom a towering example to mortals. Laughter and loiter, but never done selfishly. Zag goes from humble to hero, now our dear majesty. Descended from tragedy to find tragically more. The balance of the Badlands, Selene will restore. From bitter to better, like a beautiful song, Efimia's compass points due right when others do wrong."
As you hear this message, you feel a sense of pride for who you are. You truly feel as the Champions of Greyhaven, this beacon of hope where hope has been lost. And with that, each of you gain a point of bardic inspiration from our resident bard, Kelric. Thank you so much, Danny, for that. Efimia, you just ended your turn, so we're going back up to the top of the order. Grom, you are up.
All right. Grom is going to run the rest of the way towards the Bridesmaid of Darkness, and I'm going to take an attack with my hammer.
As you enter into the webs, go ahead and make me a strength save. DC 13. 13 meets the...
Did you roll 2? I rolled a 3.
Oh, okay.
I have a plus 12 to my strength save, but I also have -2 from the curse card.
Oh, so, I forgot you're still cursed.
Yeah. Good job for remembering.
26.
Yeah, that hits. That's a bit of damage.
This is my hammer. 15 points of bludgeoning damage.
Okay.
And 5 points of radiant. And then I would like to use my bonus action to attempt to knock her prone.
Okay.
Basically striking with the hammer in the underbelly, and then I want to try to just football tackle all of her legs and bind them into one.
She has a +3. She got an 18, so that's 21.
Yeah, 28.
Yeah, I didn't think that she was going to win this. You knock the Bridesmaid of Darkness prone. I don't have any inspiration to give you guys, so I'm sorry.
Knock prone!
Knock prone!
And then I'm just going to whip around with my hammer again and try to hit her in the thorax.
Okay, you can roll with advantage because she's prone.
Crit!
Woohoo! All right, go ahead and roll double damage.
21 points of bludgeoning damage and 12 points of radiant damage.
You hit the Bridesmaid of Darkness with your hammer. This hammer burns through the bridesmaid's thorax and she shrivels into dust. The light from your hammer is so bright it pings off of the bridesmaid's glossy skin, and you deal 27 points of radiant damage to River as the bridesmaid falls limp and cold.
Yeah.
And with that, River is bloodied.
There we go.
Oh.
And is that the end of your turn, Grom?
Yeah.
All right. It's going to be the status report turn. I believe Efimia and Selene did it last, so Grom and Zag, go ahead. Actually, let's start with Grom this time because we started with Zag last time. Grom, go ahead and roll me a d20 against
Straight
my
check,
d20.
right?
Oh, dang it, Cade. You're rolling so hot on these.
5.
A 5 versus my 17, so go ahead and roll a d100.
23. Better.
So you call into the dwarves.
Mum, how's it going over there? We've just defeated one of our targets. There's only 3 remaining.
I'm very proud of you, Grom. We've been defeated a little bit more, but we're doing okay. Just over a third of our troops are diminished, but we're still hanging in there. We think we found a weak spot in the Earth Elemental. We're gonna try.
I'll be there as soon as I can.
All right, awesome. And with that, Zag, go ahead and do your status report. Who are you contacting?
We'll do Avalar.
Why do we keep checking in with the losing battles?
Avalar keeps dying.
All right.
I'm supposed to be king. 9.
With a 5,
Yes!
you call into Avalar, and Dale says,
Zag, how are you guys doing?
We're kicking butt over here. How's Avalar?
The Seldarine are really helping out. Also, I forgot. Serac Jr.'s my dad, so I just decided that I would tell him a dad joke, and he's been laughing for 2 rounds. This is great.
I knew we made the right call, Dale.
Also, can we fix him after this?
We'll fix him after, Dale. But for now, keep those dad jokes rolling.
and then you hear on the other end,
What do you call a pile of kittens? A meowton.
and then you hear chortling of a father on the other end, and then that is the end of the status report. Zag, you are up.
Zag is still just right next to River.
You're encased in ice with him, aren't you?
She dispelled the
Spell
barrier.
the ice.
yeah.
So now you guys are straight up able to reach River if you'd like.
How did we leave him as far as is his water appendages all over the place, or
Yeah, so River's currently attacking multiple creatures, and he's stretching himself pretty thin in order to try and deal you guys this psychic damage of watching your loved ones be attacked.
Okay. Zag is going to run around behind River and reach his hand inside just his torso, almost in his chest, and cast an inflict wounds at 5th level.
Wonderful.
But if I do 5th, 7d10. Nat 20!
So go ahead and deal 14 d10 to River.
Okay, I want it to just look as he reaches his hand in, it's just those black inky tendrils Zag has always kind of associated magic with, just explode out in a giant spike ball from inside of him. Okay, first 7 is going to be 34 points of necrotic damage.
He's been dealt 110 damage. He's definitely bloodied.
Second is going to be 41 points on the second half, so 32 and 41. Zag goes behind River, reaches his hand inside his torso, through the water, and just outside of his hand, black spiky tendrils just shoot out in every single direction and almost explode him from inside. Kind of like Indiana Jones, reach in, grab the heart, but instead of pulling it out, it just freaking explodes.
You're watching water molecules inside of River start to rupture with this necrotic damage. And he looks at you and he says,
Her plan worked. She said the art of deception is all about making them look at one hand. Well, really, the real trick is in the other.
and then he takes a long moment of silence and looks at you.
You won't beat her.
I won't beat her, but we will.
And with that, how would you like to kill River?
Yes!
Baby Shadowthorn riding the super angel bear to run in and just devour and eat River whole.
This bear runs in, and in this blinding, searing light, chomps onto River's water body and consumes it all in one gulp.
I want it to look like in the ending of Shrek when the dragon eats Lord Farquaad.
Yes.
That's what I had in my mind. The bear comes in, breaks the window.
I will have
That isn't there.
I will have order!
You won't defeat her. Exactly. The bear just eats him. Gone.
River is now defeated, and you are watching as all of these hordes of zombies start to aimlessly wander.
Yes.
And with that, is that the end of your turn, Zag?
Yes.
All of the zombies are now aimlessly wandering.
Even
So
the
now we
zombies.
only have 2.
Even the leaders?
The Bridesmaid of Darkness is currently dead. Edmund and Banak aimlessly look off in the distance, and Yorlin Bane falls to his knees and seems docile. We're out of initiative. Efimia, go ahead and roll me a perception check with advantage. Happy birthday.
Thank you. 14.
With a 14, as you are wandering through this horde of zombies, going towards where Zag was, that his celestial bear just chomped down on River, you see a familiar face. Donning the pirate hat and eye patch that he once was, you see your dad, who indeed used to go to a different school, but is here anyway. And it seems that River was also potentially trying to destroy your father's body, so that it would have been more difficult to revive any of your loved ones, even if you were able to defeat him. You guys are now in this horde of zombies with deadened loved ones. What would you like to do now?
So I am concerned at just letting them stay here because obviously River had control over all of these people. I don't want to just leave them, but we also got things to do. And I know we're heading towards Vecna. So I'm thinking about what we can do to keep them protected. What buildings? I'm thinking maybe we like shove them in a building and bar it up so that even if they were commanded to go somewhere to do something, that they couldn't. So is that a possibility?
Totally.
And what buildings are around us?
Roll me a history check.
That was bad. 6.
You're having a hard time remembering a lot of what's in the city. However, you do remember one spot that comes to mind that you've boarded up actually before, and that would be Sparkel's Bar, Inferior, where you guys started this campaign.
Fantastic. So can we herd gently these zombies without being too...
Roll me an animal handling check.
Great.
Ooh. Are we all rolling that or just
But yeah,
Selene?
for like all our loved ones?
Yeah, I guess hold on. Let me explain to the group. I don't feel comfortable just leaving our zombified loved ones here. Maybe we should put them in Inferior, shove them in the bar and try to board it up so that nobody can force them to do anything else.
Does somebody still have a dried like head or something we had at one point?
I have a hand.
I have the head? Okay.
Dude, pull out the head. We'll lure them in there.
Okay. Okay.
They're zombies, right?
So,
There are 4 zombies that we're trying to hoard, right? Both of your parents, my dad, his uncle.
Uncle. And Gutrug.
And Gutrug?
Yes. I'm gonna take out the little dead shrunken head that I have with me, and I'm gonna wave it and be like, come here. Just follow me. Look at the head. I'm gonna see.
Now that I hear it, I'm like, oh, this is an Alex idea.
What was your guys' animal handling checks?
21.
16.
With a 16 being the lower of the two of yours, they look over at the shrunken head and say,
Brains?
Yes.
Yes. So brains. This way. Come on. As I imagine everybody else following, and like you gotta
just
push
hear
back everybody else.
A bunch of zombies
no,
just
not
like
you.
hoofing it.
No, not you. Not you. We just take
Just the friends?
Just our friends.
That is the most Selene thing I think of this campaign.
I protect my own. All right. It's too suspicious if we take everybody with us.
And the other zombies are like slowly starting to walk with you, and then you're like you're trying to put some hustle in your loved one's steps, and they outpace the other zombies. And you hear people saying brains fade into the distance, and you all get to Inferior.
Great. I find whatever I can to try to bar windows and
This
doors.
place barred before, didn't it?
Everything locked down. We had to escape through a hatch.
Yeah.
Sparko locked everything down.
Right.
So that came
Is it still barred up? Or is it not anymore?
It is not barred up. You see the barricades seem to have let up when Sparkel was decommissioned.
Okay, guys, help me find tables, stools, chairs, whatever we can, just to bar up all of the windows and doors, and then we got to get out of here. We can escape through the hatch.
Could we lock them like in a room? And then just bar up the window and door?
Maybe a mix of our things. We put our loved ones in the rooms and everyone else in the makeshift bars.
Sure, I wouldn't be thinking that, but if you want.
I think that we should lock it down, but at the same time, we've all seen these things' strength before. I think if they want to get out, they're going to get out. So, I don't think we should spend too much time here.
How do we keep them in?
I think we stop Vecna.
That's a valid point.
We'll bar it up as much as we can to hold them off, to hopefully not put them in any more harm's way, and then we should head to Vecna.
Roll me an Arcana check.
Natural 20.
Grom, you have gone to this bar the most out of everyone else. You remember that Sparkell not only had a little mini fridge full of spirits, but underneath the mini fridge full of spirits was a lockdown function to bar up the bar with a mechanical gate.
In Grom fashion, I will start reaching for the spirits and accidentally press the button. Whoops. As the stuff comes down, I'll pull up the spirits and say, I knew this place still barred. And then...
Grom, that's perfect. Okay, our job here is done.
How do we get out?
Remember the hatch?
The hatch.
We escaped through the hatch last time. Just don't let the zombies see. And I'm gonna, well, maybe this is a bad idea. I'm gonna do it anyway. I'm gonna toss the head in the other direction so they all walk. Yep. And then I'll open up the hatch and motion for everyone to jump in.
Selene, roll me a stealth check, DC 15.
Oh.
You insult my 15 to stealth. 15, 30.
With a modified 30, you're able to jump in. Your plan goes exactly as you wanted to, and these zombies, with a 30, you're able to perceive that your zombies will be safe here.
Wonderful.
You guys go through the hatch and exit in Greyhaven, and you guys are near the train yard. You see the Ascended Corp Tower in the distance where you know fighting is happening. Everyone go ahead and make me a D20 roll. And before you roll, I'm going to go in order. So I'm going to roll for Zag, Grom, Efimia, and Selene.
What the heck, dude?
What is this?
So I'm going to need a status report from all of you. Alec, I rolled a 19. Mason, I rolled a natural 20. Marissa, I rolled a 14. And Selene, I rolled a 19.
That's insane.
Oh,
Wait,
that's
You guys,
awful.
I rolled out in front of you.
You did.
None of us are arguing that. It's just insane.
Who are you contacting, Zag?
Avalar.
Okay, go ahead and roll it.
Nat 20.
The only number that would have beat my 19. All right, go ahead and roll double damage against
Yes,
Asarak.
go Alec.
27 and 98. Yeah!
Yes.
You deal 125 points of damage to Asarak.
Yes.
And with that, Asarak is bloodied. And you call in to Dale.
Dale, how's it going?
Oh my gosh, we are on a roll with these dad jokes. And guess what?
Just tell him about the bison.
We told him about the bison, yeah. And we found out he's a decaf man. But if we pour the espresso straight into his eyes, it's working.
In true Avalar fashion.
For the beans!
And then it goes quiet. And with that, Grom, go ahead and roll. I rolled a natural 20. Are you checking with the dwarves?
Yes,
So you
sir.
will have advantage.
An 18.
An 18. Unfortunately, go ahead and roll me 2 D100s.
69. 34.
So, you call in.
Mum, we're about to go face Vecna. How are you all holding up?
Grom, we might have to retreat soon. We've lost over 2/3 of the dwarves. I don't know how much longer we can handle it.
They have 85 hit points remaining.
Ooh.
Moments ago, the force field that was dividing the air elemental and the earth elemental dropped, and they're killing each other, Grom. They're killing each other.
Go ahead and roll me 2 D100s, Grom.
42. And 13.
42 and 13.
55.
The air elemental is throwing lightning bolts at the earth elemental and is cracking its surface.
And with that, the Earth Elemental has been dealt 55 points of damage, but the dwarves have 85 hit points remaining. Would you like to have the dwarves be called off and let the earth elemental and air elemental fight it out? Or would you like them to stay?
Before I make this decision, may I roll an insight check? Not something I'm particularly good at, but to something that River said.
Of course.
Being the distraction with one hand. Essentially being the fights is what my metagame brain is telling me. Is Grom...
Yeah,
can I see if Grom is insightful enough
check.
to...
Of course.
So 13.
With a 13, you do recall what River said about the one hand being deceiving and the other doing the real trick. And you are starting to think that, yes, these battles might just be a way of distracting you guys so that Vecna can get away with something more nefarious.
Pull everyone back, Mum. The dwarves, anyone nearby. I think we've gotten through the hardest part.
And I'll turn up to the group and say,
I think the fights are just to keep us busy. With us here, I don't think there's a need to risk further lives.
You think that this was just to weaken us?
Yes.
What are you implying? What should we do?
Remember what River said? While we were distracted with one hand, the other one was performing the trick. Where has Vecna been in all of this?
We don't know.
Performing the trick. We need to stop focusing on these battles. We're only throwing away good people.
So do we retreat everybody?
That's the order I gave the dwarves.
Zag can I call Avalar and tell them to retreat as well?
My only concern is if all of those enemies don't have something to fight, doesn't that mean they're heading towards us?
I guess you prove a point. I don't know.
I don't want us to lose any more of our family members.
But don't we also risk that if they're still fighting?
Oh, of course. That's my concern as well. Having them fight puts them at a super high risk.
But if they retreat, do all the armies march towards us? What good are we against Vecna against 8 armies?
Exactly.
Part of that wouldn't work. The elementals don't get along. There'd only be a restricted number of armies that could approach us in the first place.
They're still pretty strong armies.
Hey, we've been checking in. What if our armies, if they reach a certain amount of risk, I guess we're still losing people anyway.
It's up to you, but I've done what I've done. I think you'd better check in.
Efimia already kind of understands where Avalar is because obviously Alec called them, and so she's going to lay off of that and give Kobo a call.
Ooh, yeah. So go ahead and roll advantage to see how Kobo is doing.
And yours was a 14, right? Nat 20.
Nat 20. Okay. Go ahead and give good old Kobo a call.
Efimia is going to take out that stone that Grom handed her and call Kobo. Kobo, how's it going?
On Doppler! On Dibbler! Get them! Oh, we're doing absolutely fantastic!
Oh, really?
Oh, it's just been such a blast. I'm sorry, I've got to become a crab now. Call me back in level 15.
With that, Efimia, go ahead and roll double damage.
So it's a
2d100.
95.
95. So Kobo and his armies have dealt 95 points of damage to the fire elemental. Selene, who are you checking in with?
Checking in on Finch.
Okay, go ahead and roll me a d20 with disadvantage. 19 is the number to beat.
Oh, yeah.
Easy.
I got a 12 and I got a 7, so that's a 7.
Oh, unfortunately, that's not going to do it. So go ahead and roll me a d100 against the Aasimar.
64.
64.
Finch, how's it going?
Selene, hi! Oh, man. I thought it was a great thing that you put us up against the air elemental, but man, our windswept hair has turned into bedhead so quickly. Oh my gosh, we've lost just under a third of our troops, but we're doing okay.
Okay, we've thought about calling you off. We're scared to lose more of you.
Go ahead and roll me another d20.
For what? I got a 7.
Another 7. Okay. Roll me a d100.
Okay. What is this? 20.
Well, I think our bedhead's not turning out as much as we wanted to, but something that is good, this earth elemental keeps hucking rocks over here at this air elemental, and so even though we didn't do great this round, things are looking up.
I mean, I'm glad to hear that, but If the elementals start fighting against each other, I might have you retreat. There's no point in fighting somebody when they're already fighting each other. So keep me updated, okay?
Okay, I'll follow your lead.
Love you, baby.
Love you.
Bye.
Efimia just shakes off the cringe a little bit.
You guys are out of initiative, so go ahead and tell me what you are up to. You've called off the dwarves.
We can call off armies as we need to. I feel like it's a little bit of a case-by-case basis, but clearly the elementals are starting to fight against each other, which definitely works in our favor. But one thing we know for sure is that we need to take care of Vecna right now.
I think we need to come up with a plan as fast as we can, obviously, but we need to talk about this.
Where is she? In the tower, I'd assume.
Ascended Corp.
Yeah. What do we have? What does everyone have?
I still have the ability to heal.
I have 114 hit points.
Efimia, go ahead and roll me a d20.
Okay. 19.
Ooh. A 19. All right, go ahead and roll me 2 d100s.
46 and 41, so we're looking at 87.
Selene, you get a ring on your sending stone.
I answer.
Hey, Selene. Wow. War here. Sorry, I don't have your number saved in my contacts. I figured.
Hi, War.
The water elemental just turned. The river's not blocking the way to the earth elemental, and it just dealt a huge amount of damage. It looks like that the water elemental is hammering into the rock, and almost the entirety of the earth elemental has been decimated. Volcanoes are turning into nothing.
That's great news. I'm gonna turn to the party. Okay, it sounds like the elementals are starting to fight each other more than they're fighting our armies. Is it time to call them off?
This is exactly what we wanted, but I still don't know.
Well, we still have some armies that are attacking people who aren't the elementals. It seems like maybe that would be worth to continue, but if the elementals are fighting each other, I don't think there's any point in having our armies in the crossfire.
What if we reroute the armies fighting the elementals to help our armies fighting non-elementals?
I think that's a great idea.
I'm down.
I think that works.
Okay, War, are you still there?
Yeah. Sorry, I didn't want to hang up. I'm trying to write down your number. 555. Selene's phone. Okay, I got it.
Okay, great. So we're actually going to have you retreat. For as long as the elementals are fighting against each other, there's no need to have you there.
Yeah,
Instead,
okay.
We're going to have you head towards the Elder Brain. So we're going to have you and the Turtles help the Veiled Grin and do your best to defeat the Elder Brain.
Yeah, okay, cool. I have some buddies over there.
They'll hang up the phone and start heading that way.
Great.
All right, and with that, 3 of the 4 elementals are fighting against each other, and it seems that you guys have a pretty good grasp on what's up. So where are you guys heading?
We're obviously going to be heading towards Vecna. We've been chatting for a while, chilling for a minute. Between here and then, can we take a short rest? If everybody wants to take a little extra time to do that.
What would happen if we planned for an hour?
Is that a bad idea? Because
it's
if you guys just want to just go,
If
we
she's
can just
doing
go.
some
If
type
she's
of trick,
performing some kind of ritual,
I think
an
we
hour
go.
could
let's just
be...
do
An
it.
hour's a lot. Let's just go.
It sounds like things are going pretty well with the armies overall. We can keep working on that as we go, but I think we're ready. I think we need to go defeat Vecna.
Zag's going to pull out his soul stones, not necessarily connect them, but gain power from them and restore a 6th level spell slot.
Wonderful.
Zag is going to kneel down and cast Mass Cure Wounds. You'll see just light emanate off of him and kind of just like wash over the entire party. And he will give everybody 25 points of healing to the entire party.
All right, everyone gets
Nice.
25
I'm
points
full.
of healing back. So, Alec, you just restored 100 hit points with 1 spell. And
Thank you.
Then we still have my lay on hands, too.
And I
Or
have
when we
healing
need it.
too.
Yeah.
And I have 1 spell left for cure.
I
cure wounds.
believe our emboldening bond's probably running out by now.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, so Zag will also huddle the party together, hands on, like football huddle, and cast an emboldening bond on the party.
Right as you guys are approaching the front doors of the Ascended Corp Tower, you cast this spell. And would you like to go in?
I'm ready.
We got this.
So inside of this lobby-like area, you see the floors of this Ascended Corp Tower have been absolutely torn away in this huge remodel project, it seems. The tower goes all the way to the very ceiling. There are no floors in this tower anymore. And inside of this tower is a gigantic runic crystal. In the center of the room, a sickly yellow hue emanating off of it. And it seems to be growing crystals atop of it as you are watching it. Inside of this gigantic runic crystal, you see Vecna standing alongside 8 dissection tables, each with one of the gods of the 10 strapped down with arcane manacles. On the outside of the crystals are a series of runes. Everyone go ahead and make me a religion check.
I suck at religion.
18.
18?
18.
18?
26.
And a 4 from the cleric.
And a 4 from the cleric. Wonderful. So everyone except for Zag notices... It kind of makes sense because each one of these symbols is pertaining on these runes that are circling around this giant stone. Pertains to one of the gods of the 10 on the dissection table. Everyone who passed this religion check, go ahead and make me an arcana check.
Still a natural one, so.
16.
6.
Inside the crystal also is a book that has a huge aura of necromantic energy emanating from it. Efimia, you notice this to be Vecna's phylactery. It seems that Vecna needs her phylactery close by in order to complete this ritual.
Because she's a lich.
Because she's a lich.
Oh my god. I forgot about that.
The room surrounded by these gigantic crystal pillars, each with symbols cut out of the mineral centers, and each one of them now pertaining to one of the gods that are currently being tortured on these dissection tables. And you see as Vecna whips her head over and looks at the 4 of you.
I suppose I figured River wouldn't keep you busy long enough. No matter. An audience is in order for my coronation as the one remaining god. Now join your meager gods and face your demise.
And with that, we're going to end our session for the night.
Dun, dun,
My
dun.
name is Cade, the host and dungeon master of this Dungeons & Dragons 5th edition adventure, and I'm joined here by the players to my left.
Alec playing Zag.
Mason playing Grom.
Marissa playing Efimia.
And Brooklyn playing Selene.
Thank you so much for listening to our podcast. If you like this podcast, go on over to patreon.com/knocked and consider subscribing for just $2 a month. If you can't give to our podcast, if you're not in that type of position, if you could go ahead and recommend us to one of your friends, it truly helps us get more and more listens every month. Having more people listen to us in their listening library helps our show do better. So please go check out our Patreon. We have some free stuff on there that you could check out, or consider subscribing and get some awesome perks. We have some great stuff over there, and we hope that you remember when life knocks you flat on your back, all you got to do is keep rolling, and we hope you have a wonderful rest of your day.
Also, like, can we fix him after this?
Yeah, just kill him first.
And
we'll take... Hold on, I gotta figure out a better way.
They're fighting it with dad jokes and coffee beans.
and winning.
What do you expect from Zag's people?
This place barred before, didn't it? We got...
It did, didn't it?
No,
didn't everything lock down? We had to escape through a hatch?